What up, YouTube fam? Chief X at you. So, I made a post in the I'm in Raw Squad group on Facebook, and I said, "How are you Pan African?" And the first time you go to Africa, you go to Egypt. I said, "Make it make sense." I said, slavery and colonization wasn't in Egypt. So what are y'all doing? Make it make sense. So people felt that truth and began to deflect and bring up old shit and focus on the point that I said slavery and colonization wasn't in Egypt. So these fools want to go all the way back to prior to the Atlantic slave trade to justify their bullshit of why they in fucking Egypt and claiming to be Pan-African. Okay? So let's just understand this. Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and diasporic ethnic groups of African descent based on a common goal dating back to what? Atlantic slave trade. The movement extends beyond continental Africans with substantial support base among the African diaspora in the Americas and Europe, right? Pan-Africanism can be said to have its origins in the struggle of African peoples against enslavement and colonization. Pan-Africanism can be said to have its origin in the struggles of African peoples against enslavement and colonization. Enslavement and colonization was along here, West Central Africa. Pan-Africanism is based off the transatlantic slave trade and colonization of around 12 million Africans stolen from West and Central African. Okay. That's the context. So all these people in the group talking about there was slavery in Egypt, and they're out of context and deflecting and bullshitting you. Okay? If it is in my heart and soul and I've been claiming I'm a Pan-African all my damn life, damn near. I'm talking about people. And the first time I go to Egypt, I go somewhere that is not talking about the heart and soul of the Pan-African movement in West and Central Africa. You niggas take your ass when the first time you go to Egypt, you take your ass up here, where it has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism and the Atlantic slave trade and colonization of West and Central Africa. How are you Pan-African and half y'all never been to West Central Africa, but you've been to Egypt? That means Pan-Africanism is not in your heart. Pan-Africanism died, but I'm just saying, since you guys wholeheartedly believe in Pan-Africanism and that you're a Pan-African. I said Pan-Africanism is a thought, an idea. It's not a real thing. It's not like they have groups where we have an itinerary and plan, and we have meetings here. Nobody on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel been to a Pan-African meeting. They can't tell you who the leader is, who a committee is, or any of that. Because Pan-Africanism died in the 60s. So I said it's a thought, an idea in people's head and on their lips in 2021. And I'm right. So how can you guys call yourself a Pan-Africanist when it's based off slave trade and colonization of West Central African. That's where the movement started, Kwame Nkrumah. Right? Right? The continental African and the African American. The history as a philosophy. Pan-African presents the aggregation of the historical, cultural, spiritual, artistic, scientific, and philosophical legacy of Africans from the past times to present. Pan-African as an ethical system traces its origins from ancient times and promotes the values and products of the African civilizations and struggles against what? Slavery, racism, colonialism, neocolonialism. They're talking about this. If you're a Pan-African by heart, what the fuck is you doing going here first time you go to Africa? That means you didn't give a fuck about here. You spent your money and improved the economy of Berbers, Arabs, and Coptics. You spent them thousands of dollars in money and food with these people, and you call yourself a Pan-African. You didn't contribute to the economy of West Central Africa. You contributed to the economy of North Africans. You contributed to the economy of white Africa, not black Africa. And no, stop listening to Ankh. Sub-Saharan Africa is not a racist term. That's just some bullshit. Niggas mad because they ain't North Africans and they got to be Sub-Saharan Africans. And they're pissed, so they calling it racism. It just means below the Sahara. Ain't shit racist about it. How is you a Pan-African and you didn't take your ass to West Central Africa? You took your ass up here with some North Africans. Hotep hustling motherfuckers. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I couldn't respond in that group on Facebook because I'm restricted on Facebook. But I wanted so badly to just break this down and give you an understanding. If you're calling yourself a Pan-African and you go to Egypt the first time you go to Africa, you fucked up. You're full of shit. Pan-Africanism is not in your heart. You're here to steal culture and Hotep hustle and bullshit people with this ancient Egypt bullshit. Ancient Egypt ain't got shit to do with African Americans at all. I'm out.